Welcome back to the What If series. What If Contemplations for Life Transformation. So we're on day 8 already, and today I'm bringing you What If I Asked for Help. Something that's really important is that we need to be able to reach out and get help for things that we're struggling with, whether it's personal or financial or career, something that's holding us stuck. And so today it's all about contemplating where you might need to ask for help to improve the quality of your life. So do you think it's true that we're in a generation where it's weak to ask for help, where we get more brownie points for struggling and going it alone? Is this actually creating a belief that vulnerability is weak? What's the fear about asking for help? Where are you finding it difficult to hold it together? And what if you ask for help? So I want to share with you a very brief story of when I was younger and I had my first two children, and I suffered with very severe postnatal depression. I had 2 kids that I didn't plan on having. They were 14 months apart. We had barely any money. I had a dead-end job, and I'd spent many years feeling emotionally numb. I didn't ask for help because I felt ashamed, because I thought we were supposed to love being a mum. I thought this should have been the most important and heartwarming time of my life. And how could I tell somebody that actually what I really wanted to do was to run away and leave them behind? I recognise now that in not speaking up, I wasn't supporting other women who were going through the same things, that needed to feel that they had somewhere to go to speak. And I realise now that it's not just the strong that inspire, but it's the vulnerable, because they give other people permission to be vulnerable and to do the same. So where is shame blocking your ability and your voice to ask for help? Shame is the emotion that vibrates at the lowest frequency. It's a very dark and heavy energy, and it can infiltrate our soul and really just kind of ruin our lives in some respects. But I'd like to remind you that we only experience shame because of what we believe is expected, what we believe is normal behaviour. And I'd like to refer you back to a past vlog that I've done for you that says the law of NLP is that we did the best at the time with the resources that we had. I know for me personally, I didn't know a different way. I didn't know how to be different. I didn't know what I didn't know. So if you feel ashamed, I ask you to be kind to yourself. Go back and revisit the video about being kind to yourself. And I ask you to remember that the past is the past, and that you are better served to focus on today. How can you make things better today? Can you take a deep breath and reach out and ask, please, will you help me? Asking for help with the tiny things. Have you ever sat at your desk in a new job, desperate to kind of do something, but you're stuck and you feel excruciatingly embarrassed about having to reach out and say to somebody, look, can you help me with that? But there comes a time you've got no choice. You take that deep breath, you pick up the phone, or you walk up to somebody and you say, look, I could really do with your help. And they go, yeah, sure, what can I help you with? And you go, oh my God, I've just waited 60 minutes. Waiting, because in your head you'd thought about every possible scenario of what they could say that would make you feel silly. Only now you realise that you didn't need to worry. And I ask you to consider this as well. If somebody reached out to ask you for help, you wouldn't think twice. So why would we perceive that somebody else wouldn't be as helpful as that we would? Asking for help in relationships. Now this is a biggie. Arguments. You never do anything that I want. I've got to do everything around this house. You just sit there, right? I can't do this anymore. I can't do this alone. I'm convinced that if couples took lessons in communication, effective communication, we would halve the divorce rate. I'm pretty sure of that. So instead, if we removed defensiveness away, if we took defensiveness out of the equation and we opened up a different conversation, could it be something like, honestly, I've had a really crappy day and I'm exhausted. Would you be able to do the cooking tonight while I go and take a bath and get rid of this headache? Or, hey love, would you bath the kids tonight? I can get tidied up and then the pair of us can sit down and watch a movie together when the kids have gone to bed. Isn't that a much better way to speak to the person that you love? Unfortunately, we know that our partners end up being the punch bag for us, our emotional punch bag, if you like, for our frustrations and our fears. But it's time to remember that they're our best friends, and that if you're a best friend with somebody, you're willing to help. We just need to ask and open up that conversation. No man is an island. That's the next part of the blog. I obviously work with a lot of women who have reached a point where they recognise they need help. This is far from a sign of weakness. In fact, I see it as a huge sign that they're ready for more. They're ready to take their life and their business to the next level, but they just need some guidance. The power in collaboration is truly heartwarming, and I love nothing more than seeing my clients blossom and go from strength to strength. Asking for help is a step in a positive direction. Whether it's your business, your personal life, your career, if you're feeling stuck, ask for help. Find a support group, get a coach, take a course, just do something. There will be somebody that knows exactly what you're going through, and you'll find strength that you never knew that you had. And I'd like to just lend a little bit of compassion to men who are even more unlikely to ask for help, because men don't cry. Grow a set of balls. Man up. These are all statements that confirm to a man that you can't be weak, you can't be vulnerable, because that's not what men do. I know from my personal experience that having these open conversations with my husband, I'm best served to say to him, can I help you with that? Rather than him having to ask me for help. And having that level of communication has really changed our relationship. So give the men in your life permission to be vulnerable, because in that your relationship will grow, but so will they. We are created in universal perfection. I truly believe there is nothing we cannot be, do, or have when we connect into that energy and we become aligned with our dream goals and our dream visions of our life, expressing ourselves fully as we should. We were not born to suffer. We weren't born to sacrifice. So perhaps if you feel that way right now, you can pluck up the courage to speak to a good friend or a family member. Maybe speak to your GP. Google it. Where can I go to get help on? Find a Facebook group. Call the Samaritans. There is always somebody willing to help you. And as I sign off, I'd like to offer you this one piece of information that perhaps might even be the most important information. Because if you don't need help right now, I'd like you to keep your eyes open for somebody that does. Somebody that silently is screaming for support, but they don't know how to ask, because maybe they're too scared, or maybe they're too ashamed, or maybe they don't know what their voice is. Maybe they don't know where they need help. But keep an eye out. Be a friend. Have time to listen. Offer help with something. But just keep an eye on them. Maybe talk to their family. So I think that's a really important message. So it's a short one today, but I still have the exercises for you, which you can get at the blog, and the blog is in the link down below. Where do you right now know that your life is challenging because you won't ask for help? Is it your job, your relationship? Perhaps it's financial or emotional. What's going to happen if you don't ask for help? How's your life going to pan out? How will you feel? Now imagine that you've already asked for help. How do you feel now? And what's different for you? Can you speak to anybody about this? You don't have to speak to somebody that you are close to, but where can you get help? Go back to that list that I gave you before, but take action immediately. If you don't need help, open yourself up to being the one that helps others in whatever capacity that you can. Your mantra for today's lesson is asking for help provides support for positive change. Asking for help provides support for positive change. Until tomorrow, bye-bye for now.